Hello and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Christine Fenner. This show is about bringing you interesting people and events, and I'm here to talk with Brittany Redfern of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So talking about an interesting event coming up on Wednesday, April 9th, you have an event coming up with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep, it's called Community Day. It's actually a national event, so over 500 Buffalo Wild Wings nationwide, as well as all 4 of our Madison Buffalo Wild Wings participate. So 10% of the total sales for that day of each restaurant goes to the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. So guests can come in, they can order their favorite wings, and then those proceeds will go to Boys and Girls Club. Guests can also choose to donate as well while they're there, and 100% of that obviously will go to the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County as well.
How will the members of the Boys and Girls Club benefit from this?
So basically, like I said, 10% of the proceeds will go to the Boys and Girls Club, and they can allocate that towards different programs. There's educational programs, obviously sporting programs. Buffalo Wild Wings is all about sports, so they can allocate that towards anything they would like, as well as different like programs, like I know there's like college ready courses as well that they can put that money towards.
And then what is the goal of the partnership between Buffalo Wild Wings as well as the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County?
The goal of the partnership, so far last year, Buffalo Wild Wings raised over $1.5 million for the Boys and Girls Club. And for the next, each year through 2016, we would like to donate over more than $1 million as well. So that's our goal nationwide. On a local level, we're doing some more fun activities and events, one of them being a golf outing that's coming up. It's our first regional Buffalo Wild Wings golf outing in Madison. So all the proceeds will go to the Buffalo Wild Wings of, Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. And we're hoping to raise over $5,000 for the Boys and Girls Club in that event. So it should be a fun time.
Wow.
So.
Some of our viewers might not be familiar with the mission or vision of the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. Can you explain that?
Sure, yeah. The vision of the Boys and Girls Club is to really inspire young adults to become responsible, caring adults within the community. And the mission for the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County is to really be the youth development leaders in the community, bringing different partnerships to give positive outcomes to people, to the young adults in the community, families, and the community in general.
And so how can they donate to the Boys and Girls Club even if they don't come to one of the restaurants?
Okay, so if they don't come to one of the restaurants, they can definitely go to the Boys and Girls Club website. They can go on there and they can donate to that as well. They can come to the restaurant like we kind of discussed before. And a couple other cool ways that even Buffalo Wild Wings donates to Boys and Girls Club is if you come into our store and buy our sauce and seasoning bottles, 50 cents right away goes to the Boys and Girls Club. So that's kind of a fun way that they can donate as well.
Great, another opportunity for people to donate.
Yep.
And so how can people volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club?
People can go again on the website, the boysandgirlsclub.org, and they can fill out a form that they can turn in, and then the Boys and Girls Club will be in contact with how that you can volunteer.
Great, so for more information they can access their website as well, things like that.
Correct, yeah.
Anything else that you want to share with us about the event coming up on the 9th?
I think the Community Day event will be really fun. It's a chance for local Boys and Girls Clubs to partner with Buffalo Wild Wings to really get to know the kids, and it's really exciting to kind of see that partnership and see where the proceeds the funds that you raise go to, and it's kind of fun to build that relationship.
Great, and you've got an golf outing coming up this summer, you said?
Yep, it's July 25th. It's going to be at the Oaks Golf Course, and it should be fun. Guests, anyone's invited to come, Boys and Girls Club members, anyone. We have vendors coming. It's going to be fun. We're going to have raffle prizes, so it'll be a good time.
So again, we can find more information out on the website?
Yes,
the Boys and Girls Club?
Yep.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and introducing us to the Boys and Girls Club and the partnership that you've got going on. It sounds like a great opportunity to support within the community. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back with some more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. And up next is Judy Purcell from A Grace Thrift Stores. Welcome.
Good morning.
So you have a new store opening up in Janesville.
Yes, we're very excited. We have 2 stores here in Madison. We're happy to add a third store. That location will be in Janesville. The grand opening event will be May 17th for that store. Right now we're accepting donations and looking for volunteers.
So what type of donations are you looking for?
We will accept men's and women's clothing, accessories along with that, so shoes and scarves and belts, jewelry. Another great seller for our stores is all that home goods category, so housewares and dishes and lamps and artwork and furniture and antiques.
So in addition to the donations, you probably are also looking for volunteers?
Absolutely. Volunteers are a very important piece of our operation. Our stores run with approximately 80 volunteers, so they do all aspects of helping us run the store. So they will ring the cash register, greet customers, assist with donors at the door. They're involved very heavily in all the pricing and sorting of donations, as well as do a lot of displays within the stores. So we're looking for volunteers to do a 1 4-hour shift a week. And I think that our volunteers love being there. It's a great atmosphere, and we're looking for more.
How does the A Grace thrift store benefit A Grace, and how does it support their mission?
Yes, we are very pleased to be part of the A Grace Bigger mission. One of the things that A Grace has never turned away a patient for their inability to pay. So it's businesses or events like the A Grace thrift store that help support and put proceeds back to A Grace to support patients and families in that way.
And how does this thrift store differ from other thrift stores in the area?
I think a couple things. It supports A Grace, which is a local nonprofit. Which means all the proceeds stay within our own community. It also being heavily run with volunteers kind of sets it apart. We also have some wonderful donors in our community that have given us some great donations that end up just offering some real values and quality to our customers.
Tell me a little bit about A Grace and what you do for your patients. I think some people might not know the full story or might not fully understand.
Yep. So A Grace is now both hospice care and palliative care, and the goal is really to partner with patients and families so that we can improve their quality of life during their serious illness.
And can you explain the difference between hospice and palliative?
Hospice care is life-limiting. It would be where a physician has said that patient has less than 6 months to live. Palliative care a patient still has needs of support, but they're not life-limiting.
Now, you have several stores in the Madison and soon-to-be Janesville area. Do you also have several locations then for A Grace as well?
We do. We have both an office agency in Rock County as well as here in Madison or Dane County. So, and then the 2 Madison stores as well as the 1 Janesville store.
Got it. And so when our viewers go to shop at the Janesville location, what will they find there?
I think they will be pleased to find a very clean, a friendly store that's supported by volunteers, wonderful displays. As I said before, the donations are so generous from the community because of the number of people that have been touched by A Grace and want to support A Grace. So I think shoppers will find great values on some really good items.
For those people who can't make it to one of the stores, do you accept donations as well, or do you accept monetary donations as well?
Right, and they could learn more about donating in any format by going to our website at agrace.org.
Okay, and then tell us a little bit more about what they would do in terms of how could they donate more items if they can't physically get them there? They could call the store number and we can support how to get the donations. Currently, we accept delivery or accept drop-off of donations at during regular business hours at any of the 3 stores. Okay. And just tell me a little bit more about a GRACE, just to wrap us up here.
Okay. The mission of a GRACE is really to, like I said, to partner with patients and families and improve their quality of life through serious illness. And what the thrift store does is provide additional revenues to help support that mission.
Fantastic. Well, it was so great to have you on and to learn so much about not only a GRACE, but the thrift stores. And what a great opportunity for our viewers to check out the Madison locations as well as soon to open. And again, the date for opening them in Janesville?
May 17th.
May 17th. Fantastic. Well, thank you again. And we look forward to the new store. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Christine Fenner, and I'm here to talk to Julia Piersdorf of the State of Wisconsin Board on Aging and Long-Term Care. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
First thing I want to ask you is a little bit about what is the Volunteer Ombudsman Program that you're here to talk about today.
Absolutely. Well, just to give you a little history, is that the Ombudsman Program in general is something that runs throughout every state in the United States. It came out of the Older Americans Act approximately 30 years ago. At that time, Washington, D.C. folks decided out of the Capitol that they were getting great complaints from consumers all around the country. We need to have something in place in order to oversee what's going on in nursing homes throughout our nation. So at that time, a professional ombudsman program was put into play. And so every state at that time had to have an ombudsman program. What happened after about 10 years in Wisconsin is that they determined these paid professionals, ombudsmen, are able to get out to nursing homes somewhat, but they're busy in so many different other areas of helping the aging other than in nursing homes, that the state of Wisconsin determined we want somebody just focusing on the residents in our nursing homes. So 20 years ago, the state of Wisconsin came up with the Volunteer Ombudsman Program. Now the word ombudsman means, it's a Scandinavian word, and it means helper or advocate. Most people are not familiar with that word, so I always like to share that. So at that time, the state of Wisconsin came up with this program. There was 4 counties that were the pilot counties getting the program up and running. And at this time, we have 26 counties that are fully running and have volunteer advocates all over and going in and assisting residents with concerns that they have.
And that was going to be my next question, is what does this role do then when they're in the nursing home?
Okay. Well, what they do, once they're assigned to a particular nursing home, they really go in and become part of that community. They are checking in with residents. They aren't assigned to any particular residents. They're trying to get to know all of the residents in a given period of time. They're going in, they're meeting the residents in their rooms, in the community area in which they live, just really trying to connect with them, let them know that that they are there for them. They are there for them to check in on them. How are things going? Are you being treated with dignity, respect? Is the staff listening to your needs? Are they being met? And it can be a wide range of things in which they're assisting the residents on.
So how are the staff members made aware of this person that comes in there? And then what also does the volunteer do to help the staff?
Okay. Well, overall, that each nursing home is aware that the Ombudsman Program exists. And so many of the nursing homes have had volunteers over time, and so they become aware that the volunteer is really there for them as well. I go in with the volunteer when they're first getting placed, introduce them and so forth, because we're not a program in which we're trying to be kind of undercover or the police for them. We're really a program to assist them as well. First and foremost, the residents are our focus, but we have to work in conjunction with the staff in order for it to be a successful program for the residents. And the volunteers are really going in and checking in on anything that impacts their daily life. It could be, are they getting fresh water? Are they getting their pain meds on time? Are they being treated with dignity and respect when they're getting cares from staff members? And then what the other components that the volunteer does is that they take all the information that they've either observed during their visit, or if a resident has given a volunteer permission to share information, because our program is confidential. We want our residents to know that they can confide in a volunteer and know that it's going to just stay there unless permission is given. That allows the resident to feel that they are in control and that it's a safe place for them to be able to just share what's going on for them. So if permission is given, then that volunteer is able to share that with the staff and work, and confide in them that, this is what's going on, and allow the staff to work at what needs to be taken care of.
And one last question I wanted to ask you is, for someone interested in becoming a volunteer, are there any special skills or background education that they would need to have?
No, it's really about volunteers coming in with to make a difference, to be kind, caring, compassionate to the elderly. They are some of the most frail individuals out there, and just someone coming in and really wanting to listen, to observe, and to make that positive difference in people's lives.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all this
my
information.
pleasure.
It's a very interesting program, and I'm sure our viewers will appreciate this information.
Great.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more Talk of the Town in just a few moments. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I am here to talk with Thomas Becker of the Restaurant Show.
How you doing, Christine?
Good.
Good.
So tell me what the Restaurant Show is all about.
Well, the Restaurant Show is it's a 30-minute show that we produce right here in the South Central Wisconsin area, where a lot of local restaurants can be kind of featured in this show, which is really unique because we're giving these restaurants the opportunity to have a fully produced show, a 30-minute show, if you will, featuring the chefs, the restaurants themselves, the business owners, the GMs, or what will have you, and the food. The food is obviously the star of the show, so we're really kind of showing the different cuisines and the different presentations of food through these restaurants, but giving them the ability to have it look professionally done, like a national spot, like you'd see on maybe the Food Network, but locally.
Great. So where did this concept originate, and what season are we in?
We're in season 3, so it's very successful. The show is extremely successful. It originated in Hilton Head, South Carolina at WHHI, which they saw the opportunity where, they did a lot of research watching the Food Network, watching these restaurant shows being produced, and they thought, wow, we could do this exact same thing and give these local restaurants the opportunity or a taste for kind of the limelight, being in that big limelight, that spotlight, if you will.
And how does a restaurant get an opportunity to be featured on this show?
That is a good question. And that answer is, it really is a matter of just kind of scouting, going out to different restaurants, looking at them, finding out, what they stand for, their ambiance, the story behind the restaurant, the owners themselves, almost like an application process. So I might go to a restaurant here in the Madison area and say, hey, you would be a good fit for this show. Let's talk. I'd like to put you on TV, kind of thing. And a lot of it is the feel too. I mean, we got to make sure that we have good quality restaurants in this show, because again, it's the look of what we're trying to present and the perception of going with this show.
So once a restaurant is selected, how does this happen? How does it get filmed? When does it air? Those types of things.
The production element of it is once a restaurant is able to be presented, or we're able to kind of select that restaurant, we set up time right here in the studio, and we do everything with that's called the magic of the green screen or chroma key. So we're kind of able to put restaurants wherever they want to be. If they want to be in New York City, the Eiffel Tower. I mean, if you're an Italian restaurant and you're like, well, I want to be in Paris somewhere, or I want to be in Italy somewhere, or wherever. I said Italian with Paris, but if you're a French restaurant,
there you go.
You'd want to be have the Eiffel Tower in the background. Obviously, you wouldn't want anything else. But we've had restaurants where a Mexican restaurant they were in the middle of the desert. So it's just kind of unique on that concept. We can put them wherever they want to be in.
So when will the restaurant show premiere here in the Madison area?
We launch, you ready for this? We launch on the 10th, so April 10th, we're going to be launching, and it will be seen at 6:30 a.m. It will also be seen at 5:30 p.m. And then, wait for this, prime time on Sundays. For a local show, it's unheard of. You can't have that anywhere in broadcast TV. I've never seen it, and I've been in TV for 17 plus years.
Wow, so what a great opportunity for local,
It's huge.
for local restaurants.
Huge.
And so tell us a little bit about some of the restaurant owners and chefs that you are already working with.
Sure.
That are involved in this first show coming up.
Sure. This first show we've got Brought and Brew, which is it's actually kind of it's not a new concept because they've been around the Madison area for a very long time, but they kind of was hidden for a while. Now they're back up. So Patrick is the owner of Brought and Brew. You're going to see him, and you're going to see the different food preparations that he has, as far as the different brats and the different meats that they use and the different sides. So that's really unique and interesting. Nick from Navanta. Now this Navanta is a new restaurant. They actually started back on last year. I believe it was June of last year. So they're coming into their first year, and they're a unique restaurant because they're kind of you go there, it's a stand-up restaurant. You order, but then you can sit down. But the quality of the food is by far some of the best quality food I've ever seen. They do make everything pretty much fresh right there. You'll see Nick making mozzarella right here in our studio. So you're gonna see that come Wednesday. Nick is the owner, and he's taken that restaurant pretty far, which is really interesting. We also have Daryl from Blair Street Barbecue and Catering. He just opened up, and so he's able to really have a unique concept too with his catering. We have just a lot of different restaurants on the show.
Fantastic. Well, we're excited to see the show coming up. So thank you so much for being with me.
Christina. Thank you.
And that is all for Talk of the Town this week. Stay tuned for future shows coming up next week. Thank you.